Varathan. If you saw this on YouTube, you saw a very good version because copyright reasons makes the full version of this and other Malayali films. So you get it for Patreon, Orchard memberships.
Just go to Patreon and watch it all.
And at the end of the spot, we're talking about the movie and review it.
Yep, like we usually do. I'll give it a medal, maybe. Maybe Blue Diamond, maybe.
It's a no medal with Blue Diamond.
I should eat Blue Diamond diamonds.
Can that happen?
Yes.
No medal, Blue Diamond.
Yes, I've done that. I've done it once, I think. It was because a score was elevative, but the film was garbage. It can have an elevative element.
I hate your
It can have an elevative element. It can have an elevative element, but it's not a good film.
It's so terrible.
There's a lot of things that have elevative elements that are not good films. Can't you think of a film that is terrible but actually has a good thing in it?
No.
You're a stupid idiot.
Not a one thing.
Yeah.
Here comes the shotgun.
നിങ്ങൾ വെക്കോ ഇവരെ കൊണ്ടുവന്ന ഒരാളും നിങ്ങൾ ധൈര്യമായിട്ടല്ലേ ഒന്നും സംഭവിക്കില്ല വൈകിട്ടത്തേക്കുള്ള പാല് മറക്കണ്ട ഇനി വേണേ കയറുന്നു പോലീസല്ലേ നിന്റെ അപ്പന്റെ പട്ടാളം വന്നാലും എനിക്കൊന്നുമില്ല എന്റെയൊക്കെ കഷ്ടകാലത്തിന് അതിനുള്ള വകുപ്പൊക്കെ ഈ നാട്ടിലുണ്ട്
Nice. Very nice. Bum, 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 bum. Swoosh and shum.
I'll give it a bronze.
Nice. Why?
A lot of reasons. The payoff for what was going on took so long to finally come to fruition that it became the what was originally fun and interesting with the use of the music and the build-up and the camera to make you feel like there was imposing danger. It became laborious. It became, okay, are you going to do this for 3/4 of the film because it's not working anymore? The payoff just wasn't working. The other thing, the big payoff that doesn't work, the performances were great, and the fact that I was getting annoyed shows you how believable everybody was. It just wasn't believable to watch the guy go from being Ben Stiller and Meet the Fockers to Stallone and John Rambo. The transition from complete clueless, cowardly idiot to I can kick everybody's ass and I can come up with the most inventive ways to kill guys by putting matchsticks in the thing and do the thing. I didn't believe it for 1 second.
I think it's, and you guys can tell me if I'm wrong, because I would give it more than a bronze. I'd probably give it more of a, if I gave medals, which I don't, but it would be more of a silver. Because I did enjoy the entire thing. Although I do agree that they should have shown, because I think his job was something that made him know whether he was military. I don't know. Because they never fully, obviously, he was, at the beginning, he was some type of guy that made plans for things.
He was a designer of some kind for a building project.
They didn't specify that it was a building project either, though. But regardless, there was something there that he knows, because they alluded to, obviously, him.
An Air Force background.
Whatever. And the fact that the guy said, I think he's a terrorist or what it would.
But that was all the more unbelievable. If he has a military background, why is he so stupid about the dangers around his wife?
Well, I think it's more, I think what they were trying to convey is that it was more of a, he doesn't want to bring this out. Because like with the cockroach thing, obviously. He was like, it wasn't doing anything, just let it live. Where she was like, oh, it's disgusting, whatever. And then at the end, obviously, he was like, okay, now I'm gonna do that. That was obviously the planned messaging. I think they definitely should have specified or at least alluded to a little more even if they wanted it to remain a kind of a secret exactly what he was.
If he was a military guy who has a history of killing people and he doesn't want to deal with that anymore and he wants a changed life, that would have been nice to have had some semblance of that conveyed.
I don't.
But
it
wasn't.
Maybe there's some subtlety in there explaining that. I don't know.
And that's the thing. The fact that you don't know.
You kind of have to almost Rajnikant it. Like he's a hero, obviously, so he can do anything. But he also he knew a lot more about traps and kind of setups and kind of he knew his way around a fight as well. And so it was alluded to that he definitely has done this before in terms of fighting.
But that's the thing. If he knows how to fight and has situational awareness and knows about those things, why was he so dumb? It's just incongruent. The other thing that's incongruent for me is you can do all of these things repeatedly to my wife, but I draw the line when you abuse the local couple.
Well, I think that was just a stacking. Like
I know, but for the motivation for that to be the final straw that breaks the proverbial camel's back wasn't very rewarding for me.
Came to the realization that obviously he should have been sticking up for her and believing her, or if he does have like a moat and stop holding that back, that side of him, whether if he was trying to hold something back, who knows, obviously. Or was he a terrorist at the time? Obviously, I don't know. I don't know exactly what his background was, but I definitely think they needed to allude to it more. So I agree in some aspects. Overall, I still really enjoyed the film because I thought everything about it was really, really nice.
Now, there were parts of it that I enjoyed, hence the bronze. I just don't think it's excellent. Otherwise, I would have given it a silver.
I think there was parts of it that were excellent. There was performances. The cinematography was excellent. The score. Sushin Sham is a fucking genius. I love him. I love Sushin Sham. I think I don't think there's two better, more young contemporary composers than Ani and Sushin Sham. I think they're both really, really good at what they do.
The score is one of my favorite parts.
It's definitely a character.
Yeah.
They and more than any of his other, even though all the Godfather one, Bougainvillea, the Fafa one that we just watched last, all had good scores. This one felt like the most forward character kind of a score. It definitely felt like it wanted it to be a character in a lot of ways. And
even more so, I felt like it was almost being a narrator.
Yeah. It was definitely much more forward. Not in terms of, I don't think it was overscored, but in terms of they wanted you to the score to really be the focal point of a lot of this, and to give you the feels and that kind of stuff. I think Fafa she did a really good job.
Yeah, she was wonderful.
Aishwarya, Lekshmi, is that what it is?
Mm-hmm. She did a really good job. We've seen her in several things, and I've always commented on how much she reminds me a lot about of Priyanka Chopra.
She does look like a lot.
Priyanka
Chopra.
And I thought all the supporting guys, 100% believe them. The fact that I was so annoyed by Fafa is because he was so believable.
Yeah, so, I like that they did sync sound.
Yeah. Yes, that's always great.
That always helps. What else of this director's do we have, or have we seen everything now? Bougainvillea was his latest, right?
Right.
Is Naziara Nazim, is that Fafa's wife? Narizaya Nazim. Is that his wife?
I don't remember.
I know her name starts with an N. Sorry, I'm looking up the director right now. Yeah, Sushin Sham. The score's definitely
we haven't seen all of his stuff. He's got 12 films.
So he's got Bougainvillea, he's got the Godfather one in this one. Okay, so we've seen his most recent. CIA Comrade in America, haven't seen. We saw the last Fafa one we watched.
Ibutente Push to Come.
I haven't seen that one. Bachelor Party. Big B. I've heard about Big B. That's a Mahmoodi one. That's his first.
So what's the story on that one, kids?
Mahmoodi, man.
Yeah.
We'll see anything Mahmood's does.
Yeah.
Is Sushin Sham? No, or maybe he hadn't started working with him, because all those other ones that we've seen
is him.
Every single one is Sushin Sham. Anwar is 2010. Nope.
What does he have in pre-production
in the can?
and coming up?
Bilal looks like a Mahmood.
And another Fafa.
Another Fafa one,
Yeah.
of course. I mean, if you can work with the best, why wouldn't you? Yeah, so it looks like he has
He's got
one
another
coming
one
up with
with
Mamoots. After the adopted mom is murder, her 4 children seek the killer. Unreal. Nice. Okay. And then Fafa. I mean, if you can work with these people, why wouldn't you? Oh, and him too.
And
we know
Kunchako Boban.
Yeah, we know him.
Uh-huh.
We've seen. Yeah. Yep. That was a good movie. The case. The case Kodu. What's how would you rank his
What we've
films?
seen thus far?
I would put probably the Godfather one. Oh, look at this. We haven't seen this yet. Trance. It's
He does the
A lot of people say
cinematography.
it's one of Fafa's best performances.
Yeah.
And it's
Let me look
apparently
at the list. When did we watch? We watched Bougainvillea last year, didn't we?
that was his most recent one. It's probably going to be.
Let's see. See if I can find.
I think the
when we
Godfather
saw
one
it.
is my favorite.
That might be the case for me too.
All of them have really nice elements, though.
They do.
We're talking about, say the name. We keep saying Godfather
Yeah,
one, but it's
Bhishma Parvam.
he's a cinematographer in Trance. Apparently, that's a pretty ambitious film, as well.
I'm looking for.
I think we've only seen 4. It's Bougainvillea.
I mean, we really liked Bougainvillea a lot.
We've liked every single
Everything
one.
one of his films. This is probably my lowest grade of his films because I enjoy.
I would probably put this one third. And the last Fafa one we watched last.
Yeah,
I enjoyed this. I mean, I've enjoyed every single one of them. But it doesn't mean. I think the most perfect one he has is definitely the Godfather one.
yeah.
I think the most.
I would put
altogether-
it would be the Godfather one and then Bougainvillea would be my 2 faves.
Yeah. I think he's a quite a talented director. He's his strong suit is definitely what he lets.
He makes pretty shots.
His cinematography. I think he's a cinematographer.
That's one of the reasons.
And his editor.
I mean, if the score and the cinematography hadn't been as good as they were, and there had been some weaknesses in the performances, I wouldn't have given it a medal.
Yeah.
It gets an enjoyability for me because the cinematography and the score and the performances were so solid that I walked away from it going, as frustrated as I was by some other things, I ultimately walk away with, I enjoyed the film.
Yeah.
It's not... I don't. If anybody said it's a bad movie, I'd be like, I wouldn't go that far. I just would say, here's the things for me that made it enjoyable versus being what I would consider to be an excellent motion picture. That's all.
I definitely wouldn't say it's a bad movie.
No, it's not.
all.
It's enjoyable. It's enjoyable. It just for me had
I definitely enjoyed
some
it.
frustrations.
The biggest shortcoming I think would be because I honestly didn't mind him not because obviously there's characters and people like that aren't very forward, like in terms of their
I would have much.
protection or that side. Like obviously there's women who are much more of the protector in relationships. Because I don't subscribe to, even though I am this way, I'm a very big protector. I don't trust people.
Yeah.
I have a very short temper, but I don't like fault people for not being that way because obviously everybody's different.
But if you do have a military background in any way, which
my guess is that he didn't want to, or if it is a military background, maybe it's like a terrorist.
well, based on the way
I don't know.
based on the way he fights,
Yeah. Oh, it's definitely he's
then
trained.
If he's trained, then he understands the basics of threat assessments and situational awareness. He has to. It's impossible to get at that level of comprehension of military combat and not have situational awareness and right?
I think it's because I don't think he wanted the situation to escalate at all.
But it's your wife.
Because also it's an entire town.
That's fine, but if you don't want the thing to
An
escalate,
entire town.
you would know, I have a threat assessment here and I have situational awareness. My wife isn't smoking crack and just blowing,
Yeah. Obviously, that's how I would be, but I would probably die. And that's it. I'm not on military training, so going up against an entire town.
Of course, of course. But that's the thing. That incongruity, as well as, in all sincerity, the stories. I mean, I could kind of predict where it was going.
Oh yeah, you knew where.
I mean, I knew she was bringing out the shotgun. I had a feeling eventually he was going to flip a switch.
Yeah. I think we said it right.
There were no surprises.
Yeah. Absolutely. But it definitely the strongest suits of this are the score and the kind of the filmmaking elements of it, like the filming, the shots, and there's a very beautiful. He always has that. You can always expect it with his films.
Yeah,
this is going to be beautiful. There's going to be some really creative shots.
Great score.
If it's with Sushin Sham, it's probably going to have a great score.
And he'll cast solid actors.
Yeah. I mean, if you're in the Malayalam industry and you could always work with Mammootty and Fafa, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Why? Like,
why not?
Who am I going to cast in this? Yeah, probably Fafa and Mammootty.
Again, once you know people have the caliber to do what you want them to do, and you enjoy working with them, why would you work with other people?
Yeah.
Work with them over and over and over again. It happens all over the place, all over the world. It is one of the reasons why family members work together, guys.
Wish I had family.
Yeah, it's just it is what it is. But ultimately,
are any of these coming out this year? The Belal or
I don't know. If they're in pre-production, probably not.
So it's probably 2026.
Yeah, and you can't trust IMDb for that.
Yeah. Anyways, let us know what you thought about the movie. If you like it, if you didn't like it, what
Why
your
we're
thoughts
dumb?
on it are. Obviously, always why we are dumb.
Yep.
Down in the comments
Why
below.
we're wrong.
Let us know what our next Malayalam film should be from the director.
Should we see his first one?
Or Fafa. Obviously, we still got a bunch of Fafa we need to get to, and her as well. What's her name? Aishwarya, right? Aishwarya Lakshmi.
That is, I believe you are correct, sir.
Yep,
Aishwarya Lakshmi.
Or just in general, which would be our next Malayalam watch along. If you saw us on YouTube, you saw a very cut up version because the copyright reasons, vaguely full uncut version of this and other Malayalam films. You can head over to Patreon or channel memberships. I'll put the link in the description below, and go check that out. And on to the next watch along.